English football legend Ashley Colem is a guest of today's Livesport Daily episode. Ashley, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Ashley, you mentioned in one of your previous interviews that you started your career as a left winger or as a forward. Was it an advantage then in your position as a left back that you were actually able to think like your opponents?
Yeah, you could say that, maybe. I think it's really important, this day and age that players experience different positions, for that reason that, further down the line in their careers, you never know where you're going to play. So I think it certainly helped me understand the game, as you mentioned, understand my opponents, what makes them, as strong as they were, was kind of me understanding what I need to look for, what traits I used as a winger to now go up against that. So yeah, I think it was a good lesson for me to learn by, and I think it helped me in my career.
Is it something on which you're focusing during your coaching career now, that your players actually need to play on a different positions?
100%, yeah. I think it's important that players are capable of playing in all areas of the pitch, whether you start as a centre half, but at times you will be stepping into midfield, and then midfielders need to play a little bit more advanced and understand how to play on the half turn, because now they move into 10 positions, and wingers playing inside and inverted. You have to understand so many facets of the game, and introducing players into different positions I think is always going to help their development.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I'm asking that is that one of the best forwards in the history of the game, Cristiano Ronaldo, mentioned you as the toughest opponent he ever faced. Does it mean something to you? Does such a player say something like that about your capabilities?
Yeah, it means I was doing my job half decently. But again, I always, yes, the battles were always, seen as 1v1, but for sure I needed my teammates around me, helping me, whoever I'm up against. But I think most importantly, against players like Cristiano, you need players, you need your midfielders coming across to help and double up. You need your winger, sometimes starting positions, starting in front of him. And then, of course, when I want to go tight, I need my centre-back to be around covering me. So I get all the credit for it, but it wasn't just me. It was a team effort. Because to stop one man like that is very, very difficult.
So special preparations needed to be done before games against him? Yeah,
for sure. I think, every game needed preparation. It needed a tactical understanding, not just from me, but from players around me. But certainly when you play against the elite level players, you've got to go into it understanding what strength I'm going to use of mine, what strength I'm going to use of my players around me, and of course, what strength is Cristiano going to try to use? We need to take that away and nullify that. Mm-hmm. So it's important we understand as a group and as a team that this is how we think we can stop that.
Mm-hmm. Helped with this approach also the experience and possibility to be in the locker room with guys like Tony Adams and Martin Keown, where they're the pillars at the beginning of your career, who improved you as a player the most?
Yeah, for sure. They impacted me as a character and kind of want to be leader at the time, and my tactical awareness, I learned a lot from these experienced players that's lived and breathed it. I understood what a culture really looked like through them, and yeah, something now I use in my coaching position now, where I know what that looks like. So how can I lead from the sidelines, if you want to call it like that, with the characteristics that I learned from them top players.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can imagine it might be also intimidating a bit when a young player actually join, the defensive line next to Tony Adams. It might be, tough to be afraid actually to play sometime.
Yeah, listen, I think, my childhood was a pillar towards my character. I think, where I grew up, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't easy also. So, I had to be tough in certain areas. As a 16, 17-year-old, I was quite small and slight, and now you're going into men's football and it's tough. You're playing against physically grown men, which I had to find ways to to defend against bigger players. So I kind of had that characteristic already, but then, as I mentioned, going and training and being around leaders like Tony and Martin, it definitely gave me an edge. And it didn't really daunt me as much. I was more in awe of the players I was around than frightened of them. But I learned some lessons along the way, and I had to understand that I have to take it. If I want to improve, I need to take on board whether it's criticism or help, whatever word you want to call it, to get better. And I'm learning off the best. So it was important that I took it on board and learned from my mistakes.
So one of the main reasons of your successful career might be how the childhood actually was and the neighborhood you were around. So it was tough. So you had to actually kind of survive, and you need to be tough in order to be like that.
Yeah, okay. Basically. I lived in East London. There wasn't too many grassy areas where we could go and play football. We had a cage. And, you know, as you mentioned, it's kind of a dog-eat-dog in a cage.
Self-describing, yeah.
You're playing against bigger, physically stronger boys. And again, as I keep saying, I had to find a way to win. I had a lot of expectation, even at such a young age. Everyone goes, we hear this boy Ashley Cole is good at football. How does he fare in a cage? And, you know, it's no hold bars. The ball doesn't go out off the pitch, you know, you play it off the wall. So you learn a lot of different kind of football skills and game understanding and the physical element of football. So yeah, I certainly and definitely feel my childhood was a massive factor in, you know, the way I performed on a football pitch.
I see it also from the fact that the ability to adapt, which is important, tremendously important for every defender. So we already mentioned Cristiano. Who was the toughest actually, except him, to play against?
Just, of course, the usuals, the Messis, Ortega for Argentina. I've played against many wingers that have, you know, tore me to pieces, to be honest, at times. But yeah, it was just trying to get that mental focus and being able to repeat actions against top players. So players that I found it hard against might have been an Aaron Lennon, Nathan Dyer was at Swansea at the time. He could go inside, he could go out. The emphasis wasn't as the group, as I mentioned, when you up against Cristiano and people like Messi, is, you know, we're having a team talk just before we're going out, going, when I show him inside, Michael Weston, I need you there. If he goes behind me, John Terry, I need you there. Against teams like Swansea, no disrespect, maybe the emphasis wasn't, you know, as a group, it was, okay, Ash, you've got to deal with him. And yeah, sometimes that bit me on the arse, if you want to say that. And I fell short in my performances against these players, but they were difficult. There was a nuisance. They go inside, they go outside, they run behind. But because of the Ronaldo and the Messi kind of comparison, and because I've played against them in big occasions, everyone speaks about them, but there's many opponents that I struggled against.
So also I feel that the teamwork is the crucial thing there. Was it the main reason why you won the Champions League in 2012? Because in my eyes, the teams the years before were actually better on the paper, stronger. Yeah. But the teamwork was actually the reason why 2012 was to succeed, the big one.
Yeah, I think so. I think the characters we had in that dressing room was kind of older, experienced, learned from our losses and understood that, you know, this could be our last chance to fight and battle, just not together as a group, but in this competition. And, you know, we had that feeling of loss in 2008 in Moscow. I had it before for Arsenal, and yeah, coming towards the back end of my career, I did feel it could be, you know, last chance saloon, but I was happy with that, comfortable with that. The players that was in our dressing room, I knew we could go to war with, and yeah, it was on paper not the strongest team, but we had characters that can adapt and fight and give everything. We had a player that was making his debut in the Champions League final in Ryan Bertrand, so yeah, we knew it was the last chance saloon and we had to try to give it everything. Of course, we had some top performances from Petar in goal, Mikel in midfield, Lamps, you know, running midfield. David Luiz, Cahill, you know, we put our bodies on the line to succeed, and ultimately we come out on top.
Yeah, literally. And this question, I'm especially interested in it. What are the feelings and emotions actually of the defender when in such a crucial moment your goalkeeper saves a penalty in such time, as Peter Čech did against Arjen Robben? Is it feelings of love at the moment or something like that into your goalkeeper, you know, because he saved the whole team at the moment?
Yeah. Look, I think, you know, it wasn't just a penalty save. I think he was influential in us getting to that final with some big performances. And then, you know, I see it as a defender, I'm going, yeah, you should save it. That's what you're paid to do. But also, you know, the emotion part of it is going like, you know, without you in this goal right now, you know, our dream would have faded a long, long time ago. And this is when you understand that we had some top world-class players in that group. In big moments in games, they stepped up and you know, helped the team in a great cause. And yeah, that feeling of relief and emotion of we get another chance. You know, he saves it. Oh, we've got another 10 minutes to survive and another 10 minutes to try get a goal. So, but also on the flip side of that, it gives you belief. Like, look who we have behind. If it does go to penalties, you know, we're due a penalty win. So, yeah, as long as our key players were performing at the highest level, we knew that we would still be in the game. And, you know, the further the game goes on and it gets to penalties is, you know, who's going to hold their still the longest.
Last two things. Firstly, you are also the one who scored a penalty in the penalty shootout, where you decided to actually take one before the game, or it was like after the you know, the 90 minutes and the extra time, you decided, okay, it's my time, I'm ready.
I've been a little bit of a hit and miss, I think, with penalties. I've taken some in maybe a World Cup or Euros. I've taken them for Arsenal in finals, FA Cup finals. I've taken them for Chelsea in not FA Cup finals, FA Cup round I missed. I've missed for England, so I always put myself in a position where I feel I can try help the team somehow. But I understand, you know, you can be a hero, you could be a villain. It comes with the nature of the job, and it is what it is. But I'm always the one that will put myself forward and be confident enough to take it.
Yeah, but here, at the end, you were the hero. So was it the happiest night of your life, of your career?
Yeah, it definitely has to be one. I think my performance in that game was maybe one of the best in a Chelsea jersey in terms of, you know, defending our goal alongside my other players and of course Petter, as we mentioned. But yeah, to go through that with my teammates knowing, as I mentioned, this could be the last. You know, you hear rumblings that players might move on, so it's important that we try to I certainly end my Chelsea career on a high. And to win that for the first time, you know, in Bayern's backyard against a top team, yeah, the feeling and emotion, quite hard to describe, because it's a feeling of you've chased something your whole life, your whole career. This is something that you want to be named with or surrounded by all these legendary players and teams that have got their hands on the Champions League. So to finally do it and be part of that elite group was something amazing, and to do it with, you know, the characters that I spent a lot of time with was something special.
Ashley, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciated joining our show. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Tato video epizoda je součástí multimediálního projektu The Big Pete, na kterém se podílí Livesport a stanice Canal Sport, a který odstartuje na jaře příštího roku.